Excited to be here today with Hope LaFrance. Hope LaFrance is somebody I met in a networking group, but the one thing I know about her is she is so passionate about people figuring out and knowing how to manage their money as their access to a successful and joyful life. Welcome, Hope, to this call. I'm so excited to have you as a speaker. Uh,
Yeah, thanks so much, Mimi.
in the summit. It's going to be so great to support people with finances. Why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about your story, just a smidgen, so we get where you're coming from and why you do what you do, and then talk to us a little bit about what you're going to be talking about at the summit.
Yeah, awesome. Sounds good. Thanks so much, Mimi, for having me. It's an absolute pleasure. I feel really, really honored. And how far back do we want to go is really the question, because really, when it comes to money and finance, it's not once we start making money that we begin to be conditioned with these types of things. It really goes back to childhood and how we've been raised. And it's kind of funny if you take a look at, your life, that there's cycles, right, that ensue and that continue. And I really feel that it's on us as a generation to be the change makers. And that's what I'm really, really passionate about in this space. And just to give a little bit of context, for myself, I've always been a really big dreamer, but didn't have a whole lot of direction. And the reason being is we were in a family where my mom was a single mom. And, she busted her butt doing two, three, four different things just to put food on the table. And so that conditioning really built within me, a scarcity mindset. When it comes to money and finance, I saw money as being, the enemy to the progress of our family. My mom ended up burning out. She ended up going bankrupt, going through the whole process. And it's funny how, as much as I told myself as a newlywed, I'm never going to fall into those pitfalls, we don't necessarily do the things that we don't want to do or that we do want to do. We do the things that we've been conditioned, right? And that we've grown up in. And so
That's
this
so
is what
true.
I think. It's crazy, right? That the cycles continue. And so I found myself as a newlywed, six figures in debt, really not in the best partnership that I could have been in. But again, it all boils down to identity at the end of the day. And all that to be said, what I learned through my journey is that really understanding how money and finance works in Canada is really, really key. And it's that empowerment piece within that as well. And I find that within the industry that I work in, a lot of the conversation up until now has been very transactional, right? Whereas for me, what I love to do, and it's an honor and a pleasure to do so, is bringing that emotional piece to it as well. And especially when going through really major life changes like separations, divorce, and things like this, where oftentimes maybe we're not educated on money and finance because our partners took care of it. For example, where do we go? Right. And so for me, I love to be that safe place for people in that realm. So hopefully that gives a little bit more context.
It does. And many of our listeners or audience are not from Canada. So tell us a little bit about what you'll be sharing that will be great for our non-Canadians, or for everybody is a better way to say that.
Yeah, no, I love the fact that you bring that up. I was actually just in Vegas on a business trip as well, so I don't leave behind our fellow non-Canadianers, our fellow Americans. I think they're fabulous. What's funny is, we're neighbors, but our systems are very different, and I get the opportunity of working in both. So although I'm licensed, primarily within provinces in Canada, I have fantastic partnerships out in the States as well. So as I'm presenting, I'm going to make sure that it's customized to the audience, where we talk more on the general side of things. And if ever there's an opportunity that we need to chat more one-on-one and get a little bit more specific, we can always, carve out time for that at a later
For
time. But
sure.
yeah,
Because standing on your financial feet has no borders,
that's
right?
right.
You just have to learn how to do that.
Yep.
Um, I say you have to, but it's a good skill to have. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. So it's one of those things my broker always says, you don't have to, but you really need to. Right? So it's absolutely true. And I couldn't have said it better myself, Mimi. It has no borders.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. Any last words?
No, I think I mean I'm so excited for this. I just want to maybe take a moment to say thank you, Mimi, for spearheading this. And it's been a pleasure working with you, and I cannot wait for the different communities that we're able to impact through your yes, and then our partnership. So thanks so much, Mimi.
Awesome. You are welcome. And thank you for being here, wanting to be part of this, and the difference you make out there in the world with all people, making sure that they don't have to have that scarcity experience that you did growing up. Just really extraordinary, because when people get that, they're going to have peace in their hearts. And as you know, I always say, when people have inner peace, the
Yeah,
world will have outer peace.
I love it. I love it.
Thanks again for being here. Bye for now.
Awesome. Thanks, Mimi.